law firms and businesses around the world are still working remotely due to the impact of the pandemic. As a result, legal teams and their clients lack access to physical documents and files, copiers and scanners, and the ability to discuss the status of a deal face to face, making the complicated deal process even more challenging. Now, more than ever, law firms are turning to technology to help them manage the deal process. Litera Transact is a secure, collaborative workspace that helps deal teams simplify their workflow throughout the lifecycle of a deal and across all different deal types. Today, I'll be taking you through the Litera Transact platform, showing you the checklist, the working group list, the signature packets and tracking function, and then, finally, creating your closing books directly in Transact. The purpose of today's demonstration is for you to see how Transact can fit into and improve your workflow. When you're ready to get started, you will work with your transaction advisor to get all the training you need. Let's start with your deal checklist. A deal checklist outlines all of the deliverables that are required to close on a deal. Typically, checklists are created in Word or Excel. The problem with this is that as the transaction progresses, a checklist will constantly need to be updated and recirculated to all parties. This leads to repeated searches through emails to make sure you have the most up-to-date copy, and too much time spent preparing for status calls, time that is usually written off. The checklist in Transact is designed to be as intuitive as possible for new users accessing the workspace even for the first time, because the workspace is designed to replicate your standard checklist. Once you create your checklist in Transact, you can bring it to life. Transact provides interactive checklists that provide a real-time view of all documents, versions, and deliverables throughout each stage of the deal process. Transact also allows internal and external parties to collaborate directly within the platform. The checklist numbering and the column headings can now be tailored to suit your deal. You can also customize your status labels, and you have 10 customizable status label colors to choose from. You can make your checklist bespoke for you and your firm. A collapsible left side panel allows users to easily navigate and filter between sections. A search field in the top bar allows users to search for specific checklist items. You can also click on the Expand All and Collapse All button at the top here to quickly see all checklist items or collapse down to see just sections. Now, click into any of the line items and a document details window appears to your right. Here, I can add files in this space. Each time you upload a document, you can see the version number updates as well, so that everyone in the workspace knows what is the most current version. Currently, Transact integrates with iManage and NetDocuments, so that you can upload documents to the platform directly from these document management systems. Even better, Transact will alert you when there is a more recent version of a document in your DMS than the version on the checklist. We know how important it is to our end users that their technology plays nice with Transact. And with this integration, you can be rest assured that they will. Users can also create a deal-specific email address so that parties can email documents into their deal and then place those documents in their proper location within the Transact checklist. So you will no longer have to worry about emails with important deal documents getting lost in the shuffle. With Transact, you can also generate redline comparisons directly in the platform and without the need to use a different comparison software. Within the Document Details window, you can also add a document description, assign responsibility to a document, and change the status label. We understand that certain checklist items cannot be viewed by all parties, such as a legal opinion or a document containing confidential business information. At the top of the Document Details window via the Access button here, users can control access to checklist items individually, by section, or to the entire checklist. So, before we start adding files to the workspace, maybe we want to make amendments to the checklist. An internal user from the host firm can toggle Edit mode to allow structural changes to be made to the checklist. In Edit mode, users can add checklist line items and files, move files left, right, up, or to a specific location. They can select or deselect all for bulk changes, bulk apply status labels, or change checklist item names. Edit mode is only available to the owning firms to protect checklist integrity. Sometimes people have to work on the go. Say, for example, you have partners or clients who want to see the entire deal status but are not in a position to access the platform directly. Then you can simply export the checklist as a Word document by pressing the icon here at the top of your checklist. All amendments to the checklist are reflected in the export, which is just like the checklist in Word that you're used to working on. There is no reason to work with another checklist outside of the platform. Now let's say the client calls and she wants to know all outstanding items. Transact relieves the time spent to answer this type of status question. All you have to do is click on the filter dropdown and filter the checklist by status to obtain this information immediately. You can also filter the checklist by responsible party so everyone on your deal team knows who is working on what and no tasks inadvertently fall through the cracks. Now I'll tell you about the working group list. Here at Litera, we know that complex transactions often have numerous parties. Throughout the deal lifecycle, information about the deal needs to be circulated to all these parties via email and all-party status calls. Typically, working group lists are something that must be tracked on a standalone document. This is time-consuming and can lead to imperfect information between the parties. With Transact's working group list, you will be able to see all the information relating to all the players in a deal in the same place as the documents and the checklist. Now, imagine you want to provide your client or other parties access to the workspace so they have full visibility of the platform and the status of the deal in real time. All you have to do is access the working group list, where you can invite external collaborators to work directly in the platform here. This can relieve the need to prepare for repeated client status emails and calls, time that is all too often written off. Let's move on to Transact signature functions. What you see here is the Transact tracking matrix. You have all the signers along the top, and each document that requires a signature on the left-hand side here. We'll come back to this matrix momentarily. Let's first look at how Transact provides a quick, easy way to add signature pages to documents. Many lawyers use Word to manually create and add signature blocks to documents. This is particularly time-consuming for large transactions with many signers, as it means copying, pasting, and editing each signature block individually across all transaction documents. Things are especially complicated when there are last-minute changes, as each change needs to be manually incorporated into each and every document. Transact provides a quick, easy way to add signature pages to documents. All you have to do is first identify your signature groups. These can be copied from previous deals or the working group list. And then you assign signature groups to a document. Any change to the specific signer's information needs to be input only one time, and Transact will populate that information into all documents pertinent to that signer. Not only does this free you up to focus on the more substantive tasks of your deal, but it also prevents against embarrassing errors. This allows you to navigate last-minute changes with ease. Transact gives you the option to create signature pages automatically in the platform using several different signature page formats, such as standard agreement, multi-signer agreement, or letter agreement, to name a few. If, for any reason, the pages created in the platform do not work for you, Transact provides the flexibility to use custom pages, whether that be a page created as a standalone document outside the platform or a signature page created within the document itself. This means that the signature tracking feature can still be used for custom signature pages. DocuSign is integrated in the platform, meaning that tagging a signature page can happen at the point of creation. Now that we've created our signature page, we can go back to packets and tracking. Typically, creating signature packs is a laborious process that involves using a PDF editor to first separate individual signature pages and create a single PDF document of all the signature pages relating to each signer. Sometimes this is then sent to signers alongside the documents to which they relate. This is a long-winded task with a high risk of error. With Transact, signature packs are created automatically and can be sent or downloaded directly from the platform. Transact complements your workflow. Say, for example, you have to provide signing instructions that are complex and require a more traditional format. Although there is the option to send signing instructions directly via the platform, you can alternatively download signature packs or generate a link to the signature pack and attach to a traditional email containing the instructions. Once a signature page is uploaded into the platform, the signature tracking table automatically updates the status of the signature page. Transact attaches a QR code to each signature page, including custom pages, so that once it's signed and re-uploaded onto the platform, it is automatically associated with the transaction document to which it relates. You will no longer have to go through the process of matching signature pages to their documents. Once you're ready to execute your document, you can click the icon here to execute the document directly in the platform. Here you will be able to delete blank signature pages and add any exhibits to the document directly on Transact. There is no need to work with the PDF editor outside the platform. Once you have closed on your deal, you can create closing books directly in Transact. At the end of a transaction, a law firm is required to provide their client with a closing book of most, if not all, of the documents in the checklist. These closing books are required to be indexed and correctly labeled. This task usually eats into the capacity of junior lawyers, and the time taken is not billed to clients. Transact's closing books functionality takes a process that normally takes weeks and converts it to a matter of seconds. Transact can be used to create customized closing books for each party to the transaction. Here, you're able to select the format and the contents of the closing book before distributing with the other parties. If there was ever an easy button, this is it. So as you can see, Transact accelerates the entire deal process by automating low-value, manual, and tedious tasks, and in return reduces billing write-offs. With its interactive checklists and signature matrix, Transact provides deal teams and clients more visibility into deal status and provides a secure and archivable digital record of every deal. At Litera, we understand that there's a learning curve when using a new technology. However, when you trust us to run your first live deal on Transact, that learning curve must be near non-existent. And that is where your transaction advisor comes in. Your transaction advisor is there to set you up for success in running your deals on Transact. Your transaction advisor can provide one-to-one or group training, figure out the best way to fit Transact into your team's workflow, and answer any questions you may have. So be sure to reach out to your transaction advisor when you're ready to get started.